Channel 2. This is Houston Newsmakers with Cambrell Marshall.
1 in 7 people with HIV do not know it. That was a headline that lit up my computer screen when I went to the AIDS Foundation Houston website. It means that there are thousands of people who are living with HIV and are doing nothing about treating it because they don't know they have it. HIV and AIDS is not on the front pages like it once was, and that's a good thing, I think, because it means treatments for the disease have improved, but between 37 and 39,000 Americans are being newly infected every year, and that means there is still a lot of work for the AIDS Foundation Houston to do. Here this morning on World AIDS Day to talk about the challenges that exist and what's ahead in this long fight, John Huckabee, the Chief Executive Officer of AIDS Foundation Houston. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
There have obviously been improvements in AIDS detection and treatment through the years. If you were to give a state of HIV address, what would you talk about?
I would say that although we do not yet have a vaccine or a cure, we have medications today that for the person who does not have HIV, they can take a medication once a day and have a greater than 90% chance of not acquiring HIV. And we have treatments today that if we can achieve viral suppression, that means getting the amount of virus in the bloodstream so low that it's not detectable, that person cannot transfer the virus. So we have tremendous strides that we've made in medicine. What we need to do is to get the word out and to help people to access these medications.
You know, I've heard through commercials and things like that about when you get the disease lower, the trace amounts where you can't transmit it. That's for people who already have it.
Correct.
What's the attraction for people who don't have HIV to go take any kind of drug or whatever to make sure they don't? Are those in the group of folk who are like sexually active and who may not be taking the kind of precautions that they should? Is that group?
It's entirely possible. Anyone who would perceive that they would be at risk for acquiring HIV, perhaps their partner has HIV and they do not, or perhaps they don't know the status of their partner. This provides, this once-a-day regimen, which we call PrEP, provides a greater than 90% effectiveness rate in preventing the acquisition of HIV. So this is very important for men. It's very important for women, women who may be in relationships where the balance of power is not equal. This gives them a new choice, a new option to protect themselves.
There once was a thought that this was a gay disease, and it led to many challenges in this country for many years through the 80s and 90s. It doesn't have that kind of stigma anymore, not to the level it once had. But that doesn't make it better when we still see certain areas of our population having to deal with HIV infections. Some are increasing, are they not? I mean, which areas of our population are most at risk these days?
Right now, what we're seeing here in Houston, our largest increase in incidence of HIV is among women of color, Latinx men and women, and our younger folks, our 25 to 34-year-old young adults and late teens.
Do you think it's because they miss the era when the AIDS, HIV problem and epidemic worldwide, there were so many, it was really out there on the front pages. And those of us who are baby boomers and a little bit younger, we knew about this. Now, young people weren't exposed to that quite so much. You think that might be why? Do we understand why the young people are part of that population where it's growing?
Absolutely. I think, obviously when we were growing up, we lived with the reality and the fear of AIDS. I mean, certainly when I was doing case management back in the 90s, I saw so many people die of AIDS. This is our reality, but as you say, it's not the reality that our younger teens have grown up with, and so we have to help educate them and help to provide these new technologies, these new medications to help keep them safe.
The research is continuing. We see that all the time. I've seen video of the various kind of research going on here for detection and cures, trying to find that. The walks and the fundraisers seem to have gotten a bit smaller, but they continue. So we continue to see that there is an effort in the communities that are impacted, that they want to call attention to those sorts of things. What's being done to keep the awareness levels up, and what do you know about the kinds of advances that are being done in the research toward getting a vaccine, for example, and finding a cure?
Well, we're very excited to learn that Dr. Gordon Crowfoot, one of the great HIV researchers here in Houston, his research center was recently chosen as one of 57 centers worldwide to test the phase 3 clinical trial of a potential vaccine. That trial has started here in Houston, and so we're really looking forward to what's going to come of that trial in the next 2 to 3 years.
Okay, today, World AIDS Day. It's today, but you're holding your annual event coming up on Friday. Talk about the significance of that. My read is it's your big fundraiser for the year.
That's correct. World AIDS Day began in 1988, and it's one of 8 major campaigns that the World Health Organization marks each year. And it's designed to both raise awareness of the epidemic and also to remember the close to 40 million people who have already lost their lives to advanced HIV disease. So our luncheon on Friday is going to be for all of those reasons, and also to help raise critical funds for our organization so that we can continue to spread the message of hope around prevention and treatment as we see it today.
For those who need to know about it, it is going to be where? And the ballroom at Bayou Place. Help from Chevron.
Yes, absolutely. Our
well.
presenting sponsor, and
Yeah.
we're very grateful for their continuing support.
And from 11:30 to 1 o'clock. And in terms of what kind of tickets are available, you told me that the AIDSHelp.org website is the best way to go, and you can get updated information on what's going to happen there.
Yes, we may still have some tickets available on the website, so they can go to AIDSHelp.org and look on the events page.
And who's your keynote?
Our keynote is Mondo Guerra, and you may know him from Project Runway fame. He is a designer and also a real champion for the HIV community. You may know that during season 8, he acknowledged his own HIV status and has become a real spokesman, using his influence and his status to help get the message out about the hope that is now available to persons living with HIV. So we're very excited to have him.
Another reason people can go and should go out and be a part of that. Thank you so much, John.
Thank you for having me this morning.
Congratulations on everything that's going on.
Yeah.